feel like I've been avoiding making this video with her because I'm frustrated. So long story short, I got discharged after, I was diagnosed in 2007 with ulcerative colitis. I had a gastroenterologist for multiple years. I had 7 bowel surgeries. I've had 3 different stomas. I failed J-pouch. The stoma I've got at the moment is permanent, and I had my J-pouch removed. I'm also not. Blockages keep happening. It's something that's happened multiple times over the years as, you know, scar tissues build up. I've had a twisted intestine that was a cause of blockages at one point, and an abscess. So I think history and trauma is stuck in there. Anyway, I'd been complaining about them to my gastroenterologist, and then a couple of years ago, 2 years ago maybe, she said, right, well, we'll do a barium swallow, small bowel MRI, and if that comes back with nothing, then I'll discharge. And I've not really taken in what she was saying, and I did the small bowel MRI, the barium, and it didn't show anything, and so I was discharged. It didn't say in the letter that I was being discharged, so I thought she'd forgotten about it. By the time, it takes me a very long time to build myself up to make phone calls for these things. PTSD spans into all medical things, so I tried to get in touch to try and make an appointment, and they confirmed that I'd been discharged. So then, again, long process to get into the GP. Weighed her that I was dealing with blockages, had a referral back. I was on the waiting list for 11 months, finally got there, saw a registrar, not the fucking man whose name was on my letter, the actual consultant. The registrar, oh my god. You know as soon as you walk in and you feel like it's just a registrar, so I already feel like I'm not being taken seriously, so I think that I got my back up a bit. So I felt like I was having to fight my corner. And he even suggested that my meds might be making me constipated, because he didn't understand that I'd had all of my large bowel removed, part of my small intestine, and then obviously the J-pouch as well, that was also built out of small intestine. So a fair bit's gone. It was only when he touched my stomach and my bag was full that he realised, oh yeah, this girl can't be constipated. And he actually pointed to my drain scar on my hip and said, is that where your old stoma was? So very clear. That's just to, you know, prove how much this man doesn't know, particularly about my anatomy, and didn't really understand my history, everything that I was saying to him. He wasn't taking it in. He'd ask me a question, I'd repeat the same thing I'd already told him. He'd go back up and circle something and underline something on the paper from the notes he'd already made, because I'd already fucking told him. Anyway, my mum suggested, because he'd said, like, well, what you really need to do is when you've got a blockage, come to A&E and get a CT. I've been to A&E once in all of the years since I was diagnosed in 2007. Again, PTSD. I sat there for 5 hours, the blockage passed, and I went fucking home. So my mum was like, well, we won't even get anything when we go to A&E, we just get left sat around. So can we put something in place so that if she turns up to A&E, she can get the CT? And he said, yes, that's something that we can well, I'm trying to talk too fast because of time. Something that we can consider. I got a letter not long after for a small bowel contract MRI. So did that, got this letter. I'm now in receipt of Miss Fleetwood-Beresford's MRI, which was done on 2nd of May 2026 and reported on the 7th of May 2026. This noted a total colectomy with a left-sided ileostomy. There was no evidence of mucosal thickening, hyperenhancement, or words I don't understand suggest inflammatory bowel disease. I obviously knew that. And no evidence of small bowel dilation. I know exactly where the blockages are happening and where the scar tissue is building up. One is where there was a previous connection, and another is much nearer the stoma. Like the worst blockage I ever had, it got stuck in one place, and then it moved and got stuck in the second. But I know exactly where it is. I know what a blockage is, because I'm not a fucking moron, which was the words that I used to the registrar. Anyway, this is all reassuring, and as previously advised by my registrar, no further follow-up has been arranged, but should she develop symptoms of obstruction, then she should present to the emergency department acutely so they can look at imaging at that point to see whether there is indeed any evidence of structural obstruction. I don't need a scan to tell me that there is evidence, because it keeps fucking happening to me. Anyway, so there we are. That looks like another discharge. Part of me wants to fight it. The other part of me thinks, what's the fucking point? And again, PTSD. And like I said, I've avoided even reporting it back to you. So I'm going to speed up this video so that you can actually watch it within the few minutes that you have on Instagram Reels. Bye bye for now.